silver, and you wait till the ratio is different, and then you sell your gold, your silver, when you can get 4 ounces of gold for the silver. So you can end up increasing the amount of gold you own by taking advantage of the fact that silver is now so cheap relative to gold. So convert your gold to silver, and when silver becomes expensive relative to gold, then you can cash out of your silver and get back into your gold. Because what you should try to do is maximize the ounces of gold you have. Don't even think about it from the dollar's perspective. It's, I'm going to get more gold if I temporarily exchange my gold for silver and then exchange it back. The only monkey wrench in there is going to be the taxes, because obviously every time you do an exchange, unless you're living in Puerto Rico like I am, or you're living in a country that doesn't have a capital gains, Uncle Sam's going to take a big cut. And if I'm right, and Joe Biden is our next president, that cut's going to be much, much bigger in the future than it is now. All right. Brian Evans, $10. In regards to the value of gold going up, can those gains be taxed? Look, if you buy gold and it goes up and you live in America and you sell it for a gain, the government's going to want you to pay taxes on it. And it's a collectible, it's not even the capital gains. You pay a higher, like, special collectibles tax on physical gold. Now, if you buy an ETF or a gold miner stock, yes, you qualify for regular capital gains treatment, and you can offset those gains with other capital losses that you might have. But yeah, the taxes are in there, and it obviously, taxes screw up everything. Again, you know, if you live in Puerto Rico, you can get around the capital gains tax. Keynes, Trump equals socialist and free market clothing. Should I buy gold or silver? Silver is really cheap. Yep. I mean, now I'm getting to questions that I've answered from other people. What I might do is just stop doing this soon, and people can just, you know, go and watch the recording. We'll put it up, and I'm also going to put something up probably on my podcast, so, you know, people can watch that. And, you know, it's almost 8:30. I gotta stop this soon. I'm running out of spit. How do you transfer a 401k to Europe Pacific Capital? Well, you have to be able to roll it over in an IRA. So if you have any retirement accounts and you want to work with me as a broker or as an asset manager, yes, go to europacificcapital.com and get the number, contact a broker, fill out, you know, one of the online that you say that you're interested in talking to an advisor. If you happen to live outside the United States, go to europacificfunds.com, because I work with non-American customers for asset management through Europe Pacific Asset Management, which is here in Puerto Rico. Europe Pacific Capital is still based in Connecticut. Europe Pacific Asset Management is based in Puerto Rico. Schiff Gold is in New York. Does anybody go to schiffgold.com and buy some gold, buy some silver? Would you advocate buying puts on the collapse? Look, I wouldn't buy any puts now. I mean, the time to buy puts was before the big drop, not after. Put premiums are very expensive. Look, if you want to buy puts, you got to wait for a big rally. Wait for people to think the bear market is over. Let the put premiums come down, and then you can look at it. But, you know, puts and calls, a lot of this is gambling, market timing. I mean, you can do it very successfully if you do it right. But I'm talking about long-term investments and what people could do to preserve their wealth. I'm not, you know, really trying to encourage people to gamble in puts and calls. But obviously, there's opportunities there. If you do it right, you can make money. But more often than not, people end up losing money in options, but certainly buying them. Okay. Okay, this is from Paula Romano. At the end of the day, when the coronavirus runs its course, is there any chance of getting out of this? Look, it doesn't even matter at this point. I've been saying that it doesn't matter what happens to the pin from an economic perspective. Clearly, I would like to see the coronavirus cured as soon as possible, so that it does the least amount of harm to the people of the world. But I think, you know, regardless of what happens to the pin, the bubble's been pricked. And I think, as I said, this cat's out of the bag. And I think, you know, we're unraveling. This is the beginning of the end. We are headed for the real crash, the topic of my last book. And, you know, there is still time to not have hyperinflation maybe, but you know what? I mean, the inflation is going to be so bad that for all practical purpose, even if the dollar doesn't go to zero, it's going to come pretty damn close. So, you know, just you got to get prepared. Sean Carey, hey, Peter, should younger people move out of the United States? Look, as I said earlier, I think there's more opportunities outside the United States than inside the United States. So if there's a culture you like, a language you speak, make sure they have more economic freedom, less government. But yeah, I mean, I think there's going to be more opportunities to succeed, unfortunately. Now, it's not like there's no opportunities to succeed in America, but I think it's going to be harder and harder, and the bar is going to continue to get raised, especially after the next election. When we get a Sanders administration, it's going to get a lot more difficult for anybody to succeed in this country. William Burnett, I'm going to undergraduate business school next year. Do I need to learn a foreign language? Yeah, look, you can't help. Learn to speak Mandarin. I think that's a certain good language to know. I mean, obviously, English is a great language to know. So if you already know that one, that's important. But I would say probably the next best language would be Mandarin. I mean, not that many Anglos speak Mandarin. And yeah, China's going through some problems right now, but China is going to be the dominant country in the 21st century. No question in my mind. Just like America dominated the 20th century, the reason we dominated the 20th century was because of all of our economic growth in the 19th century. But we also started the collapse in the 20th century. And so China started its rise in the 20th century, and they will dominate the world in the 21st century. The question is how soon. I think that it will probably be this decade. Whenever I say decade, I think of John F. Kennedy. We'll go to the moon in this decade, this decade. But yeah, I think that by the end of the 20s, I think the Chinese could easily be on top of the global economic pyramid. If not the 20s, then the 30s, but maybe the 20s. Anyway, here's from Sean Carey. Hey, Peter, personal trainer anywhere in the world. So yeah, the world's your oyster. So pick where you want. William Burnett, although they do make it harder now for American expats, although if you're earning less than $90,000 a year, you can still be exempt from U.S. income taxes. But if you want to renounce your citizenship, it's getting more and more expensive to do that. They keep jacking up the price of the form. One of the good things about moving to Puerto Rico is I did not have to renounce my citizenship. I mean, I'd hate to do that. I mean, I really want to be an American. I mean, I love the country. I love what it stood for. I love, the founding fathers and the sacrifices that so many people made in the past to create this country. I just feel so badly about what's happened to it, particularly in my lifetime. And hopefully I can play a part in restoring that greatness. I mean, I still hold out some hope that we actually can make America great again. But unfortunately, things are going to get a lot worse before we even have that opportunity. And I just hope that we can seize the opportunity if we actually have it. Liquidity is my main concern, and my net worth is below 10. PacificFunds.com, the minimum investment is $2,500. So if you want to speculate with $2,500 worth of that net worth, yes, you could do it. I think you'll end up making money. No guarantees. I think you'll end up making money. I don't know what your time horizon is, though. If you have a very short time horizon, then don't even bother. But if you can afford to leave it there for several years, yeah. I mean, I don't even think it's going to take several years, but have the extra time just in case. And remember, read the prospectus before you invest. Here, Mitchell. I mean, when are these questions going to end? I want to. With the Fed monetizing debt, etc., will the dollar collapse? Will the stock market shoot to new highs or become worthless? Look, it's not going to matter, right? If there's hyperinflation, it doesn't matter if the stock market makes new highs. The Zimbabwe stock market was the best performing stock market in the world in local currency. So the price in local currency doesn't matter if there's hyperinflation. If we have hyperinflation, you are going to be a lot poorer if you decided to own U.S. stocks. You're going to have to follow my investment strategy. If there's hyperinflation, my investment strategy, I think, is going to do very well. This guy here. If gold goes to 250, 25, 5K, will the best way to sell physical gold be going gold or silver dealers? Look, I think the best way to buy physical gold will always be to buy it from me at Schiff Gold. I mean, if you want to get physical gold and have it in your possession, you want to stay away from numismatics, so-called rare coins, collectibles. There's a lot of gold dealers that just rip people off. They overcharge for coins. We don't do that. If you're going to buy your gold from me, you're going to get real gold, quality gold, and you're not going to be bait and switched into some scam coins that you're going to be overpaying for. You're going to get the most amount of gold for your money. You're going to pay a small premium over spot, the coins or the bars, and a very small commission to Europe Pacific to Schiff Gold for handling the transaction.